So my topic was artificial intelligence and how many people are worried that it's taking their jobs away and replacing them. So searches in the past 3 months have doubled for "Is my job safe?" due to most of the U.S. population just being concerned about the stability of their jobs and how much longer they'll, have their jobs. So here's some examples of AI use for context. The most common uses of it are writing or image and video generation. So for example, I had it write a 5-paragraph essay about football, but it had to use the word banana in every sentence. Surprisingly, it worked. And so there's an image for that too. But some other uses that may be a little more useful is lost my plate. Analyzing data, automating tasks, improving GPS navigation, and most importantly, monitoring health of patients with methods such as better heart rate and RPM, which allows doctors to monitor a patient's health while the patient can be at home recovering. So AI is not actually taking many jobs and really can only be used as a tool. It can't really run anything on its own. It needs somebody there as to run it and monitor it and make sure it's doing its job correctly. Most people use it for data entry and collection, scheduling, that kind of stuff, just to make their jobs faster. So statistically, 80% of the workforce can actually speed up their jobs just from using AI, but not actually losing any employees. Most of these tasks that AI is cutting out isn't anything that needs a separate position for. It's just something that employees have to do on top of their main job, which just takes away time from whatever they need to be doing. So it just gets rid of the repetitive tasks, I guess. And like I said before, it requires people to do it. So it needs somebody there to prompt it, make sure it's working, sit there, put in the information that it needs, because it doesn't have any of that on its own. So it, okay, that's not right. I wrote a word that I have no idea what that means, okay. But a common worry for people is that AI is still growing very rapidly like it has in the past few years. But that could mean that it also creates new jobs for people. Because, I'm sorry. So, in 3 years ago, for example, not many people even knew what ChatGPT was and all of that, because it was still a new form of technology that nobody knew how to use yet. And while it is true that AI is continuing to grow and will for probably ever, it can also create jobs too. So this can be, people, like I said, monitoring it, using it, and also developing these systems to work better. And because this technology is so new, that's not something that a lot of people consider because they don't have the information out there. For example, when cell phones became more popular, nobody thought that developing apps was going to be such a big field, but now it's something most businesses have. So the solution is for people just to work alongside it, use it as that tool, so it's not replacing anyone, it's just getting rid of the needless things that might just be annoying for people that So this would allow for more efficiency. So this would, because it gets rid of those annoying tasks and repetitive and stuff, it can allow time for employees to do their more important projects that might take up much more time. And instead of doing it in a time crunch, there's more time to perfect it and make sure it's better for the business. So in conclusion, it's not gonna take away from people, it only helps. It's, it only works with people. It can't do anything on its own currently because it doesn't have the information needed. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, wait, you're not done.
I'm not done, you're right.
Okay. Did you find any particular industry where you thought it was the most helpful?
So a lot of it's healthcare because
Okay.
it can monitor the people's health better, especially the systems that allow them to monitor it from home, so they don't have to be sitting in the hospital bed constantly. They can
Right.
be recovering from home and not.
Okay, good. And looking at all the records, which would take a doctor time to do. Good. Do we have any questions?
Did you find anything about like creative jobs like art, for example? Because I know like a lot of companies are already using like AI in advertisements. Like how does that, because that's pretty much their entire job.
That is one exception, like with images and stuff like that. A lot of it, like creatively with writing and stuff, like news articles and stuff, that's not as big of an issue because without people writing about the stories, the AI has no idea that it exists at all. So it doesn't. Creative writing is one exception I did see though, with more stories and stuff, but there are a lot of, AI trackers and stuff that kind of put that in place. And I think, in the future, there will be more regulation for that.
Okay, good. Anybody else? Any other questions? No one has a
So
question.
did you find anything that kind of explains, the fact that AI is getting better, and you said like currently it can't do much, but what about the future? Did you find anything?
Again, it still needs someone there to make sure it's working properly. Because you don't want to let it run on its own and make a mistake and nobody's there to check it and you ruin the entire thing. So it will continue to grow, but it won't get to a point where like an entire business could run without a single person working there. It just doesn't have that capability.
But we do need smart workers, not just smart skilled workers, not just like just plain old labor, Still, you need people to put up sheetrock and stuff like that. Well,
Can it take jobs like a tutor, where their job is just to explain something or give examples?
Yes, but I think, that's been a thing, like with Google and stuff, from what's stopping you from Googling something instead of a tutor, and you just look up a video or something like that of how to do something. I think that's